Hi, I'm Matt from SpeakPrac. I recently did the real IELTS exam and I scored a band 9 in speaking. And my goal in this video and my course overall is to help you achieve the highest score possible. In my other videos of the Ultimate IELTS English Speaking course, I shared with you the full strategy for IELTS Speaking Part 2, from the topic diamond to the topic blueprint. But I have to be honest with you, there is still a huge gap between knowing the plan and then executing it. When you're feeling the time pressure to prepare for that 1 minute and then being forced to speak for 2 minutes, it can be totally stressful. So today we want to bridge that gap. This isn't just another lesson, this is an interactive speaking practice workshop where I'll encourage you to use the SpeakPrac app to actually start speaking like a mock test for IELTS Speaking Part 2. This is more hands-on, so you're gonna have to open your mouth and start speaking soon, okay? We're moving from knowing what to do to actually doing it, because you need to transform theory into real high-scoring performance. Just so you know, this lesson is part of the Ultimate IELTS English Speaking course, and yes, the entire course is for free. You can find the central hub at speakprac.com/IELTS Speaking course, and the link is on the screen and in the description. You can find resources, course details, and everything organized all there. First, a super quick refresher of our core Part 2 strategy, because everything we do today builds on this. Remember the topic diamond? Instead of just following the cue card bullet points, we tell a story using 4 key angles. The past, which is the background. The present, where you give a description. The future, where you talk about your plans. And the opinion or feelings, which is the heart of your answer. Now this topic diamond ensures you always have something to say and your answers flow logically. Plus we have the topic blueprint. We know that over 90% of Part 2 topics fall into just around 8 categories. A person, a place, an object, an event, a hobby, media, a decision, and your own English journey. By preparing a course story for each, you're ready for almost anything. And remember, if you need a refresher on these, you can check out my other IELTS Speaking Part 2 videos on the channel. Okay, the foundation is set. Now the real challenge is that 1 minute of preparation time. This is where the pressure hits and where your training really counts. You need a way to practice this moment over and over again, getting instant feedback on how you're doing. So how do we do that? This is where the SpeakPrac app becomes your personal training partner. Of course, you could use another basic recording app on your phone to practice Part 2, but it can be so limiting and frustrating. That's why I'm going to show you my exact workflow for practicing Part 2 inside the SpeakPrac app. Method 1, guided practice with the topic screen. All right, welcome to the SpeakPrac app. There are 2 powerful ways we can train for Part 2. Let's start with the first one, using the topic screen. When you tap on topics, you'll immediately see something familiar. The topics for Part 2 are organized by the topic blueprint, categories we covered in my other Part 2 video. You can talk about a person, a place, an object, and so on. This makes it incredibly easy to do focused practice. Now within this screen, you have 2 amazing options. First, look at this button at the top. Quick Practice Part 2. When you tap this, the app instantly gives you a random real-style IELTS Part 2 cue card. This is your pressure test simulator. It's perfect for testing your ability to think on your feet and apply the topic diamond to a topic you weren't expecting. Just like in the real IELTS speaking exam. But if you want to work on a specific area, maybe you know you struggle with describing places, that's where the second option comes in. You can browse through the different topic areas of part 2 and then choose a specific topic like a place. This lets you do focused, deliberate practice on your weaker areas. And here's a really powerful feature. Notice this IELTS band indicator within each of the topic boxes. Now this isn't a random score. SpeakPrac calculates your average performance on all your past recordings for that specific topic. It's your personal benchmark. You can see at a glance which topics you're already scoring a 7.5 on or higher, and which ones keep you stuck at a 6 and you need to work more on these. We provide all the topics and questions so you don't have to waste time finding them. So go ahead, you can pause this video and start practicing speaking for part 2. Remember, you have 2 options on the topic screen. You can do quick practice or select a topic that you want to improve. So that was method 1, guided practice. Now for method 2, which is all about flexibility. See this big orange speak button in the bottom navigation bar of the SpeakPrac app? This is the quick speak button. It lets you speak about anything. You're not tied to our list of part 2 questions and topics. This is perfect if you're using official materials from the British Council, IDP, or you've got Cambridge IELTS books. Let's say you find a part 2 question you want to try. You can just hit this speak button and you can start your 1-minute prep and 2-minute speech right away. You can use the pause button if you need more time for your prep. Now, even though you're using external materials for your part 2 questions, you can still get all of SpeakPrac's instant feedback and metrics, so it can be so useful. All right, enough talk. Let's put this into action. This is the workshop part of the video. I'm going to put a brand new cue card on the screen. I want you to treat this like a real test. Cue card. Describe a time you received good advice. You should say what the advice was, who gave you the advice, what the situation was, and explain how the advice helped you. I'll share how I prepped for this question, and be sure to also prep for this question too, using your own notes. I'll use the topic diamond to structure my notes. I'm just jotting down keywords, not full sentences, for this 1 minute. Okay, our 1 minute prep time starts now. Okay, the past. I was confused about my job. I felt stuck. I didn't know what to do. Okay, the present description. What was I doing then? Oh, I talked to a mentor and the advice was, focus on skills, not job titles. Simple but powerful. Totally changed my perspective. And from that time, what was the future like? Now I always think about what skills I'm building. And this helps me choose projects. And I want to keep learning new skills. And my opinion was that it's incredibly helpful. Gave me clarity, a roadmap, and reduced my anxiety. Best advice ever. Okay. I'll use that as my topic diamond. Time's up. My plan is ready. I'm going to use the big quick speak button in the app to record my answer. And I want you to do the exact same thing. I'd like to talk about some valuable advice I received from my mentor that completely transformed my career perspective. This happened about 5 years ago when I was working as a software engineer at a language learning company. I'd been there for about 1.5 years, and while I enjoyed the technical work, I felt stuck regarding my career direction. I was constantly questioning whether I should specialize in front-end development, move into back-end systems, or perhaps transition into product management. The tech industry moves so rapidly, and I was genuinely worried about choosing the wrong path. During this period, I reached out to John, a senior engineering manager who had become my mentor. He'd successfully transitioned from developer to leading multiple teams over his 5 years at the company. When I explained my dilemma during our weekly one-on-one, expecting some technical advice, he surprised me with something remarkably simple. He said, "Stop focusing on job titles and start focusing on skills." Initially, this seemed too simplistic, but as he elaborated, the wisdom became clear. Instead of getting caught up in whether I was a front-end engineer or back-end developer, I should concentrate on developing capabilities like problem solving, system design, and team collaboration. This advice was absolutely transformative. It immediately shifted my mindset from feeling trapped in a specific role to seeing every project as skill building opportunities. The impact has been remarkable. Now, when facing new opportunities, my first question isn't, what's the job title? But what skills will this develop? This approach has led me to tackle diverse projects, from building authentication systems to optimizing database performance, each adding valuable tools to my toolkit. Now, my friends, it's your turn. Pause this video, open up SpeakPrac, hit that big orange speak button, and give your own 2-minute answer to this topic. Remember, don't worry about being perfect. The goal is just to do it. Ready? Pause the video and speak. Woo, welcome back. How did that feel? A little nerve-wracking? That's completely normal. Remember that. The key is that you did it. Now, after I finish my speech in the app, it instantly analyzes everything. It gives me my transcript, my fluency metrics like words per minute, and of course, an estimated band score for that specific speech. I also really like the improved transcript version of my speech so I can learn a better way to say what I wanted to say. This, my friends, is your active feedback loop. I like to call it the SpeakPrac Cycle. The first step is to speak, so you practice. The second step is to analyze. You get instant data, you see exactly where you did well and your mistakes. The third step is to improve. You review the advice and understand how you can speak better. Then you practice speaking again using those improvements. And that cycle goes on and on as you get better and better. So what's the plan from here? It's simple. Practice. I want you to use SpeakPrac to complete 3 Part 2 practice sessions this week. At least 3. Of course, you can do much more than that. For each of these 3 practice sessions this week, you can do this. 1. Use the quick practice button for a random topic to test yourself. 2. Go into the topic screen and choose a topic from one of your weaker categories. 3. Find the question from an official source, like a Cambridge book, or perhaps find another source of Part 2 questions and use the speak button. By using these methods, you're training for both unexpected challenges and your specific weaknesses. Do you want to go further with your IELTS speaking? Then be sure to check out the other videos in the Ultimate IELTS English Speaking course. This video right here is just one piece of it, and you can access the rest of the lessons and resources at speakprac.com/IELTS Speaking course. So today we've closed the gap between theory and action. You have a full strategy for Part 2 from the topic diamond, as well as a topic blueprint, and you even have the tools for how to practice for it using the SpeakPrac app. The most important step you take is the one right now. If you haven't already, be sure to download and open up the SpeakPrac app. You can check the link in the description to start using that tool. But once the examiner says thank you after your Part 2 answer, what happens next? The IELTS speaking test isn't over. In fact, it can actually be the most difficult for students. That is the IELTS Speaking Part 3, the discussion. And it's where the examiner asks you to discuss some complex and abstract ideas. It's where many students can lose a lot of points, but it can also be an opportunity to showcase your English speaking skills and achieve a higher Band 7, 8, or Band 9 like I did. You need to check out the next video to learn more about Part 3, and I'll break down the strategies, frameworks, and structure for Part 3 so that you can go in there confidently. Watch that video next.